Okay, so for today's lesson, you're going to want to have your notes turned to lesson 3. And today we're talking about average rate of change. So this is something that you've done in Algebra 1, maybe even in geometry a little bit. Average rate of change is basically just slope. When we calculate it, we're keeping it bound between two x values. So here, we're going to be using our slope formula. So if we were going to find the average rate of change between 2 points, we're literally just calculating the slope. So this is my x1, y1, this is my x2, y2, and I substitute into the slope formula and I reduce. So I'd like you to pause the video for a second and I want you to try number 1. Okay, at this point you've tried it and you're ready to check your answer. So you're taking the change in y over the change in x. Now I want to, oops, that's not my x. So I'm taking the change in y over my change in x. I want to remind you guys that when you do this, you have to make sure that if this is the first y that I'm taking, then this is the first x that I'm taking. I take the difference. So my difference here is 8 over negative 5. So this has a negative rate of change. So it's a decreasing function. The other method that we could use to take rate of change is instead of giving us 2 coordinates, they might ask us to look at a table for a function. So they say consider the function h of x in the table. They want the rate of change from 2 to 6. So the points that we're interested in are 2, 9 and 6, 3. So I pulled that straight from the table, and then this is going to work just like the first example. So you're going to take the difference between your y's and your x's, and then you reduce the fraction. So I'd like you to turn the page, and I want you to try the next example for me. Okay. So at this point, you've tried the example, and you're ready to go over it. So they want us to take the rate of change from the interval from 0 to 4. So I hope you're noticing that as we do this, we're always given the x values that we're using for the interval, and we use the table to look up the y's that go with it. So the points that we're using are 0, 10 and 4, 6. And I'm going to take the difference in y's over the difference in x's. So here, these are going to be nice numbers. So we're going to do, oops, I flipped it. Let's fix that. So this is going to be 4 over negative 4. So this is negative 1. The last type of question, instead of having points or pulling from a table, I can have you pull from a graph. So here, they gave us the graph of a function, and they want the rate of change from x equals negative 6 to positive 4. So again, just like with the table, we're going to look up the points. So here, I'm going to look up the point negative 6, and I'm going to find the correlated y, which is 1. So we can just count that out right here. And same idea, I'm going to look up when x is positive 4, and I'm going to find the y that goes with it. So it's going to be 4, 3. Again, we find the rate of change in y over change in x. Be picky with your signs. And then you're going to get the difference. Using the same graph, I want you guys to now find the rate of change from negative 2 to positive 2. So you're going to pause the video and you're going to try it. Okay, at this point, you've tried it and you're ready to go over the answer. So when x is negative 2, if you look it up on the graph, you're going to see that y is negative 3. Here, when x is positive 2, you're going to see that your y value is negative 1. So I'm going to take the difference in my y's, be really picky with your signs, and I'm going to take the difference in my x's. So here, if I use negative 1 first, I'm going to use positive 2 first also. So when I take the difference, I'm going to have 1 minus a negative 3, which is positive 2. And then I'm going to have 2 minus a negative 2, which is positive 4. So here my slope is a positive 1/2. So my average rate of change from negative 2 to positive 2 is 1/2. I'm going to go over number 1 with you in the mixed practice, and then for the remainder of the period, you're going to work on the other mixed practice problems. After you complete the mixed practice, you can go up to the sub and show them your work and make sure your answers agree with the ones I'm leaving with the sub. Once you check those, you can grab your homework. Your homework is going to just be more practice with average rate of change, and it has like all the different ways to read the types of problems. Please make sure that when I see you tomorrow, you have this homework and the homework from the night before to go over. So let's just take a quick look at number 1. So for this question, they want the average rate of change from -1 to 3. So I just want to remind you guys, if they ask us to show our work, we're going to show our work. So we're going to substitute in -1 to find the output or the y value. When we do that, we're going to get 1 plus 3 equals 4. Again, we also need the output for 3. So we're going to do 3 squared plus 3. So that's 9 plus 3. That's going to give us 12. Let's undo that. After we have our y values, we can then find our x values that go with them. Oh, wow. So I'm going to take the difference in y's over the difference in x's. Remember, rate of change is just slope. So I'm doing change in y, which is 8, over change in x, which is 2. So here my rate of change is a positive 2. That's all you need to do for this. So again, you're going to finish up the rest of the problems in your notes. So going through 2 and 3, you're going to check your answers with the sub. I'm leaving an answer key with them. And then you're going to go ahead and go into your homework. You can work together. Make sure that you have homework from lesson 3 and lesson 2 ready to show me tomorrow in class. See you guys tomorrow.